Hey podcaster, I'm Tim Wahlberg, your podcast performance coach with another actionable tip so you can grow your podcast authority, generate leads, and convert with ease. Today's tip is my quickest one yet. Point your freaking mic at your mouth. There is no excuse for poor audio on your podcast. I've said this probably 100 times over the 250 episodes I've done, and I'll keep saying it because it matters. Your audio quality affects your podcast authority. It affects your authority in your niche, and it means it affects whether people trust you and want to work with you. When you sound bad, you lose credibility. Full stop. Think of it like walking into a bricks and mortar store that's in total disarray, stuff everywhere, no organization, staff running around. Nothing looks professional. What do? You walk out. When your audio is muddy, echoey, or thin, your listener doesn't hear authenticity or DIY charm. They hear a red flag. The moment they hit play and it sounds like you're broadcasting from a metal shoebox or an empty stairwell, their brain makes a snap judgment. They don't think, oh, this person probably knows their stuff. They think, no, and then they leave. Here's the thing. There is no excuse for poor audio in 2026. A few years ago, sure, fixing bad audio was hard. It was expensive. It was limited. That's not the world we live in anymore. There are AI tools, filters, cleanup software, and editors with experience and skills. Even basic, easy-to-access tools can make a big difference. But, and this is important, the more tools you have to use to fix your audio, the worse it sounds. Processed, manipulated, thin. Is this AI? Which brings me back to a premise I've talked about since episode 20. The one literally called shit in is shit out. Garbage into the mic equals garbage out of the speakers. So here is the one thing you need to do. Okay, the two simple things to make your podcast sound more professional. First, you need to understand how your microphone actually works. I see this all the time. People spending $600 on a microphone and then they point it at the wall or the ceiling or the window or their shoulder or neck. I can hear it instantly and I can see it instantly on video too. Not all microphones work the same. And if you're not sure how yours works, figure it out. Google that specific microphone, watch a review, learn how your mic works and how to use it. I did a video about this, so you can check that out. I'll link to it in the show notes. Or find another podcaster who sounds good and uses that same mic as you do, then copy their setup. Take some time to learn how to use your mic right. Which brings me to my second and most important part, point your mic in the right direction. Here's a visual I want you to lock into your brain. Pretend your microphone has a laser coming out of it. Where is that laser pointing? I'm tapping on my mic right now. If this caused the laser to fire, where would it hit? It better hit me in my mouth. Yours should hit you in your mouth. Ideally, the corner of your mouth. Not the wall to your right, not the ceiling above, not to your chest, not your desk, your mouth. 2 to 3 inches away. That's it. It can't miss. Some microphones are side address, which means you will be talking into the side of the mic where the diaphragm is. Some are end addresses, meaning you will be talking into the end of the mic. In other words, the laser comes out of a different part of the mic depending on the kind of mic you have. That's why step 1 matters so much. Know how your mic operates. But once you do, point that laser at your mouth and stop making your or your editor's life miserable. When you sound great going in, your editor doesn't have to drag out all the filters, AI tools don't have to rescue you, and your audio sounds natural, clean, and professional, and your authority stays intact. Mic placement is so important that we made it the subject of our very first episode of this entire podcast, episode 001, because if you don't get this right, everything else suffers. So here's your entire takeaway. Understand how your microphone works. Point it at your mouth. Stop recording into the room and start recording into the mic. That's it. Fix this one thing and you will instantly sound better, more professional, and more credible. And yes, It will improve your authority because how you sound matters, whether you like it or not. And I hope that's just the tip you need. Now, what you say into that mic also matters. When your content is laser focused, your podcast is going to act like the marketing machine you always dreamed it could be. How do you get that focus? This is exactly what we cover in the free podcast audit. This 7-step process will help you identify if your show is pointing your listeners in the right direction. Grab it at podcastperformancecoach.com/free-podcast-audit. You don't have to memorize that. It's in the show notes. Grab it and find out what your podcast is doing right and where you might need to realign things. Get your free podcast audit by using the link in the show notes or at podcastperformancecoach.com. I'm Tim Wahlberg. See ya!